What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are back to react to another Detroit Lions mock draft that was sent in from one of you guys. This one comes from my man August, so let's get it started.
You know, I got to shout out DoseOfDion, man, because it was actually the first time I went live on YouTube. And, you know, guys don't know, DoseOfDion, he put out a lot of good content for the Detroit Lions.
Welcome everybody to another video. Glad you guys are here, and we're back for another Mocking the Mock Detroit Lions edition. This is episode number 5, man. We are absolutely flying through this series, sort of, kind of, but it seems to be a lot of fun. You guys seem to be enjoying it. I cannot tell you how many mock drafts I have. So let me address the thing that I put in the community where I said, hey, if y'all want to send in some videos of doing your mock draft and then I can react to them, you can do that. It was kind of an idea that DoseOfDion actually came up with to maybe make it a little bit faster for me, because right now, these videos, I'm not even like trying to exaggerate. They're taking like 5 hours, okay? And I'm cool with it. They're fun to do. You guys seem to enjoy them. I'm good with it. But I got a lot of mock drafts. Like, I have so many mock drafts sent in, so there's no way I'm going to get to all the mock drafts out there. So this is just a way that maybe I can do them a little bit quicker, all right? Because even at one a day, I mean, we're not going to get through them all. It's not going to happen. So I'm sorry if I miss out on yours. If you do want to send in, buy a video, that probably will be the ones that I react to first. So you guys can't do that. Or you keep sending them like this. I just can't guarantee that you're going to get a spot in the video. You know, honestly, right now, if I stop getting them, I would still probably be, you know, way through the draft. All right, so we're going to... All right, so we're going to get right into this thing, man. We're going to react to August mock draft. Now, I have a couple of things we're going to do differently. First thing, I'm only going to name 3 things I like and 3 things I don't like about each prospect, okay? That's it, because I got to find a way to limit myself. That way I don't talk forever and the videos don't turn into 30 minutes, all right? That's kind of what I'm hoping for with this process. Now, DoseOfDion had the idea that we could try to do these from the back. However, I've noticed with trades, it makes it super confusing because you're like, wait, why are we trading picks if it doesn't really make that much sense? So we're going to start from the front, but if there are no trades, I may try some of these mock drafts, you know, from the back and kind of work our way up. So let's start from the front, though, with this one. So with the 7th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select. Make your predictions. I'll wait. No, you're wrong. Or you might be right. The Lions traded back. I'm sure some of you guys guessed it. Yes, the Lions trade back to number 19 in the NFL Draft. They trade back with the Washington football team. Now, let me get the draft details over here. So, yes, the Lions will give up pick number 7, also a 2022 third-round pick, and a 2023 5th-round pick. Ooh, okay, we got to get some future picks. But in return, the Lions received the 19th pick and the 51st pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. So you gave us some future picks, kind of stinks. But you did, however, get an extra pick in this draft at number 51. So what do you guys think about that trade? I guess PFF gave it a C. So they thought, hey, that's okay. All right, so we move back to the 19th pick in the draft. And at pick number 19, the Detroit Lions select Zaven Collins, linebacker, Tulsa. Okay, so Zaven Collins becomes a Detroit Lion. Okay, let's do this. 3 things I like, 3 things I don't like. I should be able to do this off the top of my head. I talk about them all the time. Standing at 6'4", 260 pounds, and outside linebacker for Tulsa.
Go ahead and say it. I mean, why is that guy not in the running for the Heisman? Tell me somebody else that has affected more games than that guy.
The first thing I like is his zone coverage. I love his feel in zone coverage. I love his production in zone coverage. The guy's able to come up with pass breakups, interceptions. He just has a really good feel for where he needs to be at, and he's very effective in zone coverage while also having those playmaking abilities. The second thing I like about his game, I also like his ability to get after the quarterback. Now, I don't think he's the most polished pass rusher, but with the size, it can make him very difficult to stop as a pass rushing linebacker. He's also had some really good grades in that area as well. And finally, the last thing that I like about his game, that he can do a lot of different things at a high level while also being 6'4", 260. Probably the best thing that he can do with his size is shoot through those running gap lanes. I mean, for a guy that size to do what he can do, pretty much a whole bunch of things without having any major weaknesses, in my opinion, on the field is incredible. I think that he could fit depending on the defensive scheme that we go to. One of my favorite players, Defensive Player of the Year, that is Zaven Collins. Now, 3 things that I don't like about Zaven Collins. The way that he plays somewhat not super aggressive going against blockers. Sometimes he's a little passive with it. He doesn't kind of just, you know, take a blocker's head on. It can leave some gaps open. I wish he'd be a little bit more aggressive for his size. Also, same thing to tackling. You know, sometimes I wish he'd be more of an aggressive tackler. All right, he's about average in terms of missed tackles, but sometimes you want to just see him rock somebody. Sometimes you want to see him just set the tone. All right, I've talked about it many times. I feel like it's a mindset thing, and that could definitely change with Dan Campbell, but that is another thing to notice. And finally, his overall quickness. I mean, I don't think he's the quickest player. I don't think he can beat in open space because he's not that sudden and not super agile, and I don't think he has the best top and speed. He's not going to go as fast as Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, but he's also 50 pounds heavier. Background in safety and quarterback, I think, puts him in great spots. I think he plays a lot faster than he really is because he's a lot of time in the right position, okay? He gets himself in the right spot and he's able to make plays. He's very aware of his surroundings, but athletically, in terms of quickness, in terms of agility, maybe not the best there, okay? Want pure speed? Maybe not the guy for you, but he can play a lot faster because he gets himself in the right position. 3 things I like, 3 things I don't like. I do like the pick, though, my man. That moves us to the 41st pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. The Detroit Lions select defensive end out of Wake Forest, Carlos Basham. That brings us to Boogie Basham. Boogie with the hoodie, all right? At 6'4", 285 pounds, here are 3 things that I like and 3 things I don't like. The first thing that I like about his game is that he seems to have a pretty nice arsenal of pass rush moves, but specifically that swim move. Oh my gosh, that thing is beautiful. I mean, it's a thing of absolute beauty, that spin move in his game. He also likes to bring in that, that shoulder dip, but man, that swim move, even though I think he used it somewhat excessively last season, it is a thing of beauty, and it seems to be very, very polished in his game. The next thing that I like is I like his ability to play pretty much everywhere on the defensive line. Now, definitely don't see him as a nose tackle, but in a 4-3 defense, I've seen him play both as a defensive end and an interior defensive tackle. I think he's better as a defensive end, but he does give you some versatility on the defensive line. And finally, his explosiveness. The guy is 6'3", 280 pounds, and he will flash off the screen with his explosiveness. Credible player. I really caught my eye at the Senior Bowl, and I really liked him since. Plus, he has a great nickname, Boogie Basham. How do you get better than Boogie? Okay, how do you compete with Boogie? All right. Now, 3 things that I don't necessarily love about him right now. He's indecisive at times. There's too many times where I see him like going up there chopping, like what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And then he does nothing. And it's like, oh. That was a little anticlimactic. Like he's very indecisive at times. He's not always quick, with his moves. He's kind of slow to make the decision. Also, I would love to see him bring out so many more power moves, be more powerful. The guy is super strong, especially if you go back and look at 2019. He's a very strong player that when he utilizes the bull rush, man, he can pop an offensive tackle back in his stance. You love the mix between athleticism, size, and strength, but too many times he's a little bit more finesse with it than necessarily just power. Just boom, I'm going to run through you. You like to see him utilize that a little bit more often. And also, as a run stopper, questionable at setting the edge, that's for sure. And also his production as a run stopper are a little bit questionable as well. But he did bulk up in 2020 a little bit, which made him look a little bit less as quick, but he was still quick. All right, so that tells you what you need to know. Boogie Basham, great nickname. Great player, I guess. I'll just leave it there. That moves us to the 3rd pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Man, we're flying through this. I like this. With the 51st pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Remember, he received this from the Washington football team. This is running back, yes sir, Javonte Williams out of North Carolina. My man, August. Come on, man. Standing at 5'10", 220 pounds. Here are 3 things I like about Javonte Williams' game. First off, breaks so many tackles. 75 broken tackles. That is an absolute absurd amount. You know it's going to translate to the NFL level. He runs with such aggression, man. This guy runs mean, and he's also got some of the size to back it up. The second thing I like about his game, really nice quick vision, okay? Quick cuts to the inside. He actually seems to be more effective as an in-between the tackle type of runner than outside. He seems to also know his weaknesses, okay? He knows what he's not best at, but I do love him, man. When he gets inside, he kind of makes that decision real quick, boom, and he goes, boom, he just flies through that hole, running downhill with that speed and aggression. Absolutely love it. And finally, his ability to make big plays. Second, the FBS in big plays. So not only is he this big, strong running back that runs hard and he's tough to bring down, he also makes a lot of big plays. 3 things that I don't necessarily love about his game. First off, when he's outside, running outside the tackles, I feel like he can be a little too cute at times. Sometimes he can get a little juke happy instead of just saying, I'm just going to get the edge. Now, I think some of that is knowing that he's not the fastest running back. He's not slow. He's not the fastest. He's projected to run a 4.5 5'2", not bad. But sometimes you see him a little bit too wiggly outside. It's like, okay, just go. He's also not a burner, which I think kind of goes to my last thing I just said. He's not a burner, deep kind of threat player, but he still does rack up tons of big plays. So he's not going to be the fastest running back out there, but honestly, I don't need the fastest running back. I need a guy with good vision that can break tackles and make things happen, make guys miss. A drop issue, but I could twist that and say that he wasn't that bad. He did have a few easy drops, but he's also a nice route runner. One time he completely burnt, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and he's made some one-handed snags. When he's picking up a blitzer, as a blocker, which I think he's actually a pretty solid pass blocker, he doesn't always latch on to that pass rusher. Sometimes he kind of just pops him and lets him go, and then all of a sudden that pass rusher just keeps pursuing the quarterback, and you want to see him stay more locked on. But man, I think Javonte is one of the most well-rounded. He's very good against, you know what, I'm gonna break my rule a little bit. Really good in goal line situations, short area downs. I think he's a great compliment for DeAndre Swift. One of my favorite running backs. He's a top 5 running back, hands down. You can make a case top 3, and when I start coming out my rankings, he may be there. That's Javonte Williams. That moves us on to the 4th pick. So with the 72nd pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Paris Ford, safety out of Pittsburgh, standing at 6'1", 190 pounds. What do I like about him? He is a violent tackler. Whoa, this guy wants to hit. All right, this guy wants the kneecaps. Okay, he's coming for the kneecaps every single play. This guy just wants that contact, and he's not even the biggest guy. 6'1", 190, a little bit of a slim frame. He wants to smoke, though. There's no question he wants to smoke. Also, he switched from cornerback to safety, and you'll see him line up a ton at slot. Definitely has man coverage skills, and I've seen him jump down on routes. Last thing I like about his game is he doesn't question himself whatsoever. This guy isn't hesitant. He trusts his ability. He trusts where he needs to be, and he flies to the spot. And you don't actually see him that many times out of position. A couple of things I don't like about his game. First off, the biggest thing for the Detroit Lions specifically, I don't know if this is the biggest need. All right, I think Tracy Walker and Will Harris can kind of fill out this need a little bit more, as I see him less as a free safety and deep safety. He's more of a box guy right now. I don't love him in deep coverage. All right, he's not the fastest guy. He's also not the best turning his hips and kind of playing deep coverage. And finally, his sideline to sideline speed, it's okay. It's okay. I will throw in this bonus is that, even though he's a violent tackler, I hope that he does make sure that he wraps up, because before last season, he had a lot of missed tackles. Cleaned it up a little bit, but there are still occasions where he'll kind of just throw his shoulder. I need to make sure he's wrapping up there. So I like him as a player. Super, super fun to watch. Kind of what you want in a safety. However, the issue is for the Detroit Lions, I don't know if this is exactly where I'd go. To make the case to sign a safety instead of draft one, and we've talked about a few, but I would target more of a coverage safety that's kind of known for his pass coverage ability, because I think that's what the Lions are lacking in the back end, not necessarily a safety like this. I see a pick like this working out is if the Lions land a ball hawk, something like that in free agency, because they still need that. This was straight up competition for Will Harris, and he could potentially take Will Harris's role because it's very similar in that way that they both can play slot. I just think he's a better slot corner, and they're both physical. That would be kind of your Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. This could be your Chauncey Gardner-Johnson that they have in New Orleans right now, the similar type of player. Just a little bit smaller, though. He only weighs 190. Will is definitely a little bit bigger. If you get a ball hawk in free agency, I get the pick. If not, though, I'd rather target that kind of safety in the draft. But does that mean I don't like watching him play? Absolutely not. This guy he's a hitter, man. He's a tone setter from safety. His tackles speak for themselves. He's got tons of tackles from his spot, but he does play a lot in the box. That's why I don't think it's the best scheme fit. All right, that moves me on to the next guy, which comes in at number 88. So with the 88th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select, I'm going to try my best, Levi Onwuzurike. I don't think it's Zurke. I think it's Zurike? I don't know. I'm trying though. I watch this guy a lot. He is a Washington defensive tackle, 6'3", 293 pounds. What do I like about Levi? The first thing I love about Levi is this guy can be extremely explosive off the snap. Super explosive off the snap. He can dominate with his bull rush. He's played both nose tackle, defensive tackle when they've bumped to like a 4-3 look, and defensive end. Played all across the defensive line because of his explosiveness. And finally, they use him in stunts. All right, they get involved in stunts. They use some of that explosiveness to their advantage. Gives you a lot of opportunity on the defensive line. Some things that I don't like. The first thing, inconsistent explosiveness. Some plays, you'll see that he'll be the first guy off the snap. Other plays, he's the last guy off the snap. And I think it's, first off, he plays a lot of snaps, but, there's some inconsistency there of being explosive every play. And I get it, you're probably tired, but it's kind of 50-50. Sometimes it's like, wow, and then other times it's like, okay. Counter rush moves, you would like to see a little bit more to that. It seems like the initial pop is kind of the most you're going to get. And then after that, there's not a ton. Really, the only thing that he does as a counter is just kind of try to throw him off. There's not really much to it. There's not a lot of attacks there for Levi. And finally, when he's double teamed, really no impact whatsoever. I haven't seen much of an impact when he's double teamed. Yeah, he takes on the double team when he's listed as a nose tackle, but he doesn't really do much, okay? Run defender, he can get pushed out of the way. I think he's a very good 4-3 scheme fit as a defensive tackle with some versatility potential. Definitely don't see him as a nose tackle, though, but that could be good for the Lions if that's the route they go. So that is Levi. You know I like me some Levi. That moves me to pick number 112. And at pick number 112, the Detroit Lions select wide receiver Seth Williams out of Auburn. Seth Williams comes in at 6'3", 211 pounds. The first thing I like is he has absolute great size to be an outside threat in the NFL, and he flashes that ability to be a very talented outside threat, which the Lions could definitely need depending on what happens. Even if Godly's back, they could use a player like this. The next thing that I like is, man, he can bail his quarterback out at times. They can just throw the ball up. He has a great ability with the ball in the air to really put himself in a nice position, but he's very athletic in the way that he can leap up and just go snag it. And that kind of moves me to catch radius. You know, he makes highlight plays on tape, a lot of highlight plays. But then that brings me to my concerns. Separation. Not a lot of separation you're going to get from him. A lot of these plays, very, very well covered because he's bailing out his quarterback because he's not that open. He doesn't get open very often. His separation can really lack, I think, especially at the next level versus physical cornerbacks. So that moves me to my next thing, which I don't think he's very physical on the outside. I don't think he's physical enough as an outside receiver right now. I don't know how that changes with the mindset or whatnot, but he has the size to do it, but he's not very. Also, he's pretty slow off the release. He's not that quick off the release. You see a lot of shuffling the feet. Doesn't really beat people off the release very often. He does have some drop problems, and contested-wise, doesn't make that many contested grabs. Actually, it's not good because you look at his highlight reel and you think, wow, this guy is like great, go up and get it type of guy. But he's really not. He's so inconsistent. He had like 9 of 30 contested grabs. I mean, it was low. A lot of I don't want to say weak hands because he shows you the flashes of great catches, but really, man, when he's contested, there's a lot of times that he can't pull the ball in. Look, I think this is a solid value. I actually went on the PFF mock draft simulator you use, and I went to see who's available at 112. The only other guy that I would have taken here, if you're looking for that type of receiver, is Nico. I would have taken Nico over him. If Sage Surratt there, I'm taking him. But honestly, for what's available for me, aside from Nico, there really wasn't that many players. So I definitely see the potential. I think the ceiling is super high. His quarterback play was buns, but it's a little hit and miss, but I guess when you're talking day 3, that's what you're going to get. So that moves me on to the next pick number 154. So pick number 154, the Detroit Lions select Daz Newsome, the receiver out of North Carolina, 5'11", 190 pounds. Definitely going to be a slot at the next level, I believe. Daz Newsome, 3 things I like. First off, missed tackles. This guy is tough in the open space after he has the ball in his hands. 14 missed tackles forced. Not broke tackles, missed tackles, okay? There's a difference there. Also, what I do like is he doesn't give up on routes. This is the type of player to turn into a GPS rerouting. You know, hey, it's not okay rerouting. He keeps moving around, keeps trying to find ways for his quarterback to see him. And also, man, he's got a catch rate. He's got a contested catch rate of 11 of 16. It's kind of crazy to think, you know, I'm going to throw in a bonus one here because why not? This guy has burner speed, all right? He has the type of speed that we really don't have at the slot position right now. That moves us to the things that I don't like. Too many body catches, okay? His contested rate is good, which tells me when it's in that type of position, he's going to go out and make the effort to get it. He's got strong hands, but there are a lot of times on a lot of other passes, he lets the ball come to his body, which can allow the defender to make a play. Also, he does have some easy drops from time to time. I'm talking 2-yard pass, no one's around you, goes right through your hands type of drops. Breaking tackles. Forced missed tackles, yes. Doesn't break a lot of tackles. Pretty much you wrap around, he's going to go down. So yes, okay, Daz Newsome was one of the players that I put in my guys that I think the Lions could grab late. So you picked up Daz Newsome. I got no issues with it, man. The guy's got speed. He's got a really good contested track record, and he also can be a return man. I like it. Look, hey, there's always going to be issues with these guys. I think some of his drops are really concentration because they're easy routes, but I do like him as a blocker. I'm going a little overboard with this one, but I definitely do like him as a player. So there you go, 2 receivers, and that moves us to the final pick. Now, this pick was acquired via trade once again, so he trades the Detroit Lions 2022 6 and 2023 6, so more future picks. That stinks. The Detroit Lions select wide receiver out of Western Michigan. You know his name. It is Dwayne Eskridge. Okay, yes, Dwayne Eskridge becomes a Detroit Lion. Let's talk about the 3 things that I like about Dwayne, 3 things that I don't. First off, the guy, like Newsome, maybe to another level, burner speed. Woo! I mean, this guy can fly. I mean, I'm talking slants to the house. That's what I'm talking. Next thing that I love, incredible Senior Bowl. I mean, this guy bumped his stock up like crazy to the point where I could see him going day 2. So this pick, 198 to get Dwayne, I don't see it happening. But you did, so I like it. Yards per catch, such a big playmaker. It's like over 20 yards per catch every single year. That moves me to things that maybe I'm a little bit worried about. his competition wasn't the best. He seemed like an absolute mismatch. So much so as a mismatch that he could play as an outside receiver. Don't think he could do it in the NFL. He's not physical enough. He's also small. But he looked bigger than cornerbacks. I was like, man, how big is this guy? No, he's 5'9". Oh, okay. He's just going against some little dudes at cornerback. But let's be fair. Kenny Golladay came out of Northern Illinois, which is also the MAC, and we know what Kenny G turned into. So I'm just saying, don't sleep on him yet. Not the most physical receivers, and also his limited route tree that we saw at Western Michigan. Slants or go deep. No, that wasn't it, but that was pretty much the main gist of it. However, at the Senior Bowl, he showed us his ability to do a lot more than that, and I think his Senior Bowl bumped his stock up. I can see this guy go day 2. Seriously, people like speed, man. Tyreek Hill's got people hype. I can see him go day 2. So hopefully that video was quicker. So you brought in no corners, which is okay because that could definitely be free agency. Only one pick that I had some questions about were Paris Ford. I would rather get a different type of safety than Ford. Like watching play, different type of safety. I like Carlos Basham. I'm assuming that you're not bringing back Romeo, so that would make sense. I mean, you get a nice defensive end. If Romeo's not back, then you get Carlos Basham. I'm fine with that. I think Basham could fill in, and he also gives you more size. And he does have the size to play a 3-4 defensive end as well. Just not really a nose tackle, so I wouldn't put him there. But I do like that pick. Saying, okay, Romeo's back, Trey's back, putting Levi inside with Carlos, then oh snap, you're going to get some pass rush, that's for sure. Carlos concerns me a little bit with run stopping inconsistencies as well. Levi, also the inconsistent explosiveness, just sometimes he's just so slow and he's not really in the play. That concerns me a little bit with him as well. But it'd definitely be a strong defensive line with some depth behind it. And hey, I mean, if you go to a 4-3, some of those interior defensive linemen could be out of place. But Jay Sean would be some depth as well as Deshaun Hand. So I don't think it's necessary. I think you might be overdoing it a little bit if that's the case. But if Romeo's not back, I definitely get the pick. Then also Javonte Williams. Come on, man. You can't do me like that. You know I love that pick. Come on, man. Seth Williams. I mean, Seth Williams kind of a weird one for me. Man, he shows you so many highlight flashes, but then too many times he's also super inconsistent. So Seth is an interesting one. I just think he gets out muscled too often, and I also think that he doesn't get a lot of separation, But hey, his quarterback play was really bad, so it's not all his fault. And yeah, you gave up a lot of future picks, but you know what? You got the guys that you wanted to get. The way you drafted this team seems like you're building towards a 4-3 defense. I think Levi's in a really rough spot if you go to a 3-4. I think Basham could bounce to defensive end in a 3-4 defense because of his size. Still think he's better than a 4-3. So I think it's built better for a 4-3, with Zaven being the outside guy. Let me know, man, if you're in the comment section below. Is that what you were going for? Let me know what you guys think. Look, you filled out a lot of the positions. No offensive line or no corners, but those both could be filled out for agency if you're losing, Romeo, which it seems like you are. If you're keeping Romeo, I don't really know the Basham pick makes sense. However, you got a lot of depth then, but I wouldn't have done it if you kept Romeo. So I'm assuming you lose Romeo. You can take that money, throw it at corner. I'd definitely rather draft an offensive lineman than necessarily sign one in free agency if I'm looking for depth there. But I don't think you have to. We do got a lot of depth there. I don't think we have to. I really don't. But I love the fact that you got me a running back. My guy. You can grab a quarterback, but you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to grab a quarterback. It just depends on how the board falls. So what do you guys think about this one? I think you could have potentially maybe not taken Paris Ford, and maybe at 72 you take a wide receiver, and then maybe at 112 you take a corner, and you take, instead of Seth Williams, maybe you take a corner, or you take maybe you take a different safety there. But, hey, man, I mean, for the most part, you got some studs that I love, like Basham, like Boogie, like Javonte, like Levi. So, hey, all right, what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.